Okay, so just to recap, this is the inheritance dispute. This is put up. I'm not going to be naming names. Um, I do know that the first part of the recording did catch what this here is, which is the situation. So, for the client or the querent. And what I've done is I have made a 12 card reading that gives you the details step by step of what can be done in the situation. This gives you a lot more information, and you can do with it as you will. So here's what we're going to start with. What is important now on face value is that, yes, I did write down things for it because I didn't want to forget anything, and that's just the way I do. What's important now is that there is the unquestionably the act of following traditions and the bureaucracy, and what is in question is that there is an illegitimate child, okay? The person who has left the inheritance did step outside of his relationship. The dispute is based on that. He did not do traditionally what he was supposed to do, the fundamentals of the marriage where he was to stay monogamous. That is how it was in that time. We're talking probably 80 some odd years ago. So the tradition was a family is a man and a woman. The man does not step out, the woman doesn't step out, they don't cheat. Well, he did cheat. That is where the inheritance dispute originates. He cheated. There is another bloodline, there is another branch of the family, illegitimately, but there is. So this is why this card is like this. And then we have the what you want and what you have to work with right now is the legal aspect, the emperor. That is going to be like your judges, your legal aspect, your ruling of it. What you have to work with is if you go through the legal aspect, the legal law system, it has a precedent on how to handle this. That's what you have to work with. Now, in regards to your choices in your Seven of Cups and having all this things that need to be done, at least that's what this card usually represents, is the wish fulfillment. There's so many wishes that you want to fulfill. But what needs to be said to get what you want is that you're going to have to address that, yes, it's overwhelming. Yes, there's a lot of choices. Yes, everybody wants to do what they want to do, and there's a lot of different ways you could go about doing it, but the clock is ticking. Okay, the clock is ticking. You don't have a lot of time. You have to make a decision, and you have to make it now. That's pretty much what this card is telling you. What needs to be said is you need to be able to sit everybody down and say, we don't have enough time to sit here and argue about who does what, when, and what choices need to be made. We need to make a decision, and we need to go forward. We don't have a lot of time to hem-haw around and lollygag. And this may be a little odd to have this card, but what you have as far as your support, your secret weapon, what you have to behind the scenes or your ally behind the scene is the secret is you're missing the point. And I know this is going to be hard to take. If you don't go ahead and do what you need to do, you're going to regret it. And I know this sounds strange, you as the querent are probably one of the youngest members of the family, or younger than the others that are involved. You're going to regret not stepping forward. That you are your own secret ally, okay? No one's expecting this, but even if you do it behind the scenes, you're going to have to step up. I know this is going to be strange to say, but the only way you're going to be able to get the support for your cause is to remind everybody that yes, this is a lot of anguish is going on because of having the illegitimate children branch being revealed. Yes, it's going to cause a lot of issues. Yes, it's going to cause a lot of turmoil, and everybody's having sleepless nights. And this is very agonizing, but this has gone on for long enough, okay? Remind everybody this has gone on long enough. It's time to end this cycle of anxious, anxiety, everybody not being able to sleep. And this says stirring up those emotions of grief. It's gone on long enough. Okay? So enough. That's how you get your support for the cause. It's time to end this crap. What needs to be addressed right now is it is from the very beginning, okay? Yes, he cheated. Yes, he had children outside of his marriage. Yes, they have just as much right to the inheritance as you all, the main legitimate branch, do. However, you know, you ever heard the phrase clean up on aisle 3 or, when you're in the store? That's what this card is telling me. Clean up the mess. It's not only saying, okay, yes, this has all been revealed. Yes, this is telling that, it is the truth. It's been revealed. Okay, deal with it. Clean it up. I know that's, kind of brutal to say, but, that's the details that has to be addressed right now. Now, how others view this, and I don't know if this is the illegitimate branch or the rest of your brothers and siblings, your cousins, your aunts, and so forth. Your other relatives on the legitimate branch versus the relatives that have been revealed. This is how they view this entire issue. The potential for action needs to be took. Okay? But, how do I phrase this any better? They need to just start taking action. Everybody sees it. Everybody else, somebody needs to step up. Somebody needs to take action. That's what they see. That's what their opinion is. That's what their view is. Somebody has to do it, but they're not willing to do it. That's their view. Somebody needs to take that step. That's their view. It's like somebody needs to. So here's the thing. I'm going to step right over here. This is the secrets. This is what's being hid. This is something that you need to know about, okay, in order to do what you're wanting to do or have the situation turn out to your benefit or the best benefit of everyone involved, whether it's you specifically or everyone, just to get the situation settled. You have a backstabber. I say it's a backstabber because this is a person who is, how do I phrase this nicely? There isn't. This is someone who is quick to act and quick to leave. This is an unstoppable force. Somebody who's going to come in, bulldoze, run rawshod, get things done. This can be somebody who may not have the best interests of everybody else involved. This could be somebody who is related to someone involved in the dispute. It could be somebody who's a marriage partner. It could be somebody who's a partner. It could be on the legitimate side or it could be on the other side. It could be somebody from the other side. It is a male. And I'm not saying that because it's a knight. I'm saying that even though the males and the females on these cards depicted the energy involved, I strongly get the fact that this is somebody with a high masculine energy. And this is, to me, this is saying this is a male. It could be either the son or the grandson from the illegitimate branch, or it could be somebody who is on the legitimate branch. I do not see that clearly, but this is someone who's rushing in behind your efforts. That's why I say this is a backstabber. So what you need to know about the secret is that it's going to happen quick. They're going to try to come behind, get things done, and before you do. So him hauling around, going back up here to the decision needs to be made, okay? It needs to be done. It needs to be cleaned up. Let's get this done. Let's get this over with. The decision has to be done now. This is just reinforcing this. If you're not going to do it, if you're going to hem-haw around and take your time, you're going to miss your opportunity. And that's going to come back again in a minute. Or be reinforced again in a minute. So, Number 9, the goals of what you want to see happen. You want, in a lot of ways, I get the impression that you want to be seen as dependable, reliable. The family can rely on you. You're the dependable one, but also that you have all your ducks in a row. You have everything you need to take care of this issue. You have everything, all the data, all the material, all the proof that you need to handle things and get this situation resolved so that no one else has to deal with it. Not that no one else has to deal with it, but just so that everything is resolved and the family at large does not have to deal with this anymore. But here's the thing that you have to be aware of. You have to be committed to it. And that means you have to take action. And here's the sad part. What will happen once this is resolved, once this gets took care of? The sad part is you're not going to get what you want. I know that you said you want part of what is in dispute, but I get the feeling that the land, it's not so much the money, it's the land that you want, the physical manifestation. I think you mentioned that there was something like that in dispute, some physical. I don't know if it was a house or what, but you're not going to get that. It's going to be resolved. Everybody's going to get their piece of the pie, but I'm getting the impression everything's going to be split, and the only way to do that is liquidation. You're not going to get the physical stuff that you're wanting. Now, I'm not talking about whether it's an item that you want. Everything's going to be liquidated. The only way something like that happens is if it is a huge object, like a house or land. This may be, in since this is inheritance, it could be the homestead, it could be the home. That's the impression I'm getting. You're not going to get that. The situation will be resolved, whether it's by you or by the person coming in behind you getting things done if you're not doing it. So even if you follow all the steps, do things in a timely manner, I don't think you're going to get it done quick enough. I don't think you're going to get your way. I don't know whether it's because of the legal aspect that it cannot be done unless everything's liquidated, which is the impression I'm getting. Now, everybody else's views, opinions, or reactions, that's a better word. Everybody else's reactions involving in the situation in response to you fulfilling what it's told you to do, which is to handle the situation yourself because you have everything that you need and get it done in a quickly, timely manner. Their reactions to you handling the situation is what I'm looking at here. And it's going to be, basically, they're going to be relieved. They're like, hey, it's finally done. A release of everything that was held over and an end to all that situation. It's like, okay, it's come to an end. Everybody stop being stubborn. There's nothing to be stubborn over anything anymore. It's done. It's over with. They're relieved. That's their response to you handling the situation. Now, the total end result, I can't speak. This card position is mainly to reveal any other secret enemies or any sacrifices that you would have to make or the obstacles in the situation. And there are a lot of obstacles. People's personalities, their viewpoint of what they get a piece of the pie, etc., etc. So basically, the last obstacle or anything at the end of all of this is that you're going to ruminate over the missteps that you took during all of this. You're going to think back and have hindsight on the things that you could have done better. I mean, I don't know how long this has gone on, but I get the impression it's been for a long time. A couple of years at the very minimal. there have been a lot of missteps that could have been handled better. There could have been quicker action, decisive action that could have been taken. There were so many opportunities missed due to everybody else's resistance. And I know that the end result is that you could have probably gotten more done by stepping up to the plate sooner and having action done quicker than having this thing linger on as long as it has. In other words, if you were wanting to have land, you could have had that. You will look back at the end result and think everything could have been split in a more beneficial manner for everyone had this not taken as long as it is. I know you told me it was, a while without being specific, but I'm getting the impression this has gone on for years. This person, this grandfather must have died a while back, because I'm getting the information I'm getting. There is 3 major cards. So this is these two especially are like the heavy hitters. These are like fundamental heavy boundaries, the foundation. They give me a huge amount of weight. And I know this is so unique to have this end with something of where you look back and think there are many things, so much resistance. Basically, everybody's going to be complaining at the end that they didn't get what they wanted, and they're going to be like, oh, well, if we just had done it quicker, oh, well, everybody was arguing over what needed to be done. Everybody was resistant, the honest truth that he cheated. You can't, the fiddlesticks. He cheated. It is evident. It is nothing you can change. You can't sweep it underneath the rug. Y'all could have acted a hell of a lot quicker, but you didn't. And there's going to be a lot of people in the family that are just going to talk about that. And you're going to get a lot of complaints. So you're going to have to face the fact that your family ain't going to be happy. And they're going to blame you. So I'm sorry. This probably was not as good a reading as you were hoping for, but I did warn you ahead of time that I am blunt. I will give you the information. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So if there's anything else that you need to know, the basic I'm going to come at you with is that you have all your information. You have everything you need. You need to take it to a lawyer. You need to do it now. The choices, it's almost past the time of making a decision to where you can get anything other than financial benefit. If you were looking for land or a house that was in the inheritance, the only way the law is going to split it up at this time, if you don't move your butt, because I have a sneaky suspicion that either a spouse or a partner to somebody involved outside of yourself in the situation, it could be on the illegitimate side, it could be somebody who's related or partnered up with somebody on the legitimate side, but they're pretty much going to go ahead and, you know what, if you ain't dealing it, I'll go in there and I'll take care of it. They're not going to tell you about it, so you need to watch for that. But the family's going to come back on you and say this could have been handled better, this could have been handled sooner, you had all the information, why didn't you do it quicker, we didn't get what we wanted because of you. You're going to be blamed. And I hate to say it. I hate to say that they're going to do that, and I'm going to be honest and suggest you just don't contact them. If they start blaming you, turn around on them and say, listen, this was a family thing that took forever. Nobody else was stepping forward. Nobody else was making a decision. Everybody wanted to have infighting. You're not laying this on me. You're going to have to defend yourself, and I'm sorry. But anyways, the only thing I can tell you is go forward with everything you have. Go to a lawyer. Let the system. There's already a precedent involved. And if they're coming back and saying, well, if they say something about DNA testing and that you have to pay for it, no, you don't. If they want a part of the inheritance, they have to pay and prove themselves. Otherwise, they don't count. Take that into consideration. They have to prove it. Maybe that can be used to cut the person off in the background. Okay? if this is coming from the illegitimate side. It could be, it could not be. Um, but you have everything you need, and the only way you can go forward is to go to the law. If the illegitimate side is saying they get a piece of the pie, tell them to prove it. They have to pay for it themselves. You're not responsible for that. Otherwise, they have no claim. If they cannot prove it, and they have to prove it, even though I'm telling you it is true, and everybody in the family has their suspicions, and it's been revealed that it is, and it is, legally, they have to cover the cost. They have to prove it. That is not on you. If they want a piece of the pie, they have to prove it. But the family's going to come back on you, shut them down. I hope this helps. Contact me if you want more anything else done.